I made a video yesterday about my 14 days, or my first 14 days of abstinence from alcohol, and basically giving up drinking for 2 weeks. And I explained some of the positive and negative effects that it had on me, both psychologically and physically. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link up on one of the cards up there in the corner. But what I want to talk about today is, it's not a new topic actually. This was something I watched a video about on YouTube. Now, it was from a guy who goes by the name of the Stop Drinking Expert. Now, I strongly recommend this guy if you are thinking about abstaining from alcohol for any period of time, or giving up alcohol completely. Then I strongly recommend watching this guy's videos, because actually it goes against the sort of the Alcoholics Anonymous way of thinking. Actually, he's quite anti-AA, but he does give you a new way of quitting alcohol. It basically changes the way you think about drinking, and actually I found it very useful. Whether or not I stop drinking long term is yet to be seen. And one thing I will say is I'm making this video, but I am in no way claiming to be any sort of expert. I'm also not claiming any kind of moral high ground, because I've not been drinking for 2 weeks. Because blimey, I needed to stop drinking for a while. So everything I'm saying is pretty much regurgitated, but is now based upon my own observations in these last 2 weeks. So the strange thing I've noticed is this weird social stigma around not drinking. It's such a strange thing. I've been to the pub while I've been off the beer, not quite as frequently. I used to go daily, but I have been a fair few times, quite often to watch football, because I like going to the pub to watch football for the atmosphere. Also because I'm not from the town I live in. I moved up to the town I live in to be with my now wife, so a lot of my social life has been built around the pub and about the people I've met in there. Because you know, I, at the end of the day, I'm now miles away from the friends I used to know. So a lot of my social life has been built around the pub. I like going there for the atmosphere of the football, so I've kept going despite the fact that I'm not drinking alcohol. What have I been drinking? Well, I've been drinking a combination of soda water and non-alcoholic beers. I mentioned in my last video, Heineken Zero is definitely the pick for me. It's the only one I've come across that hasn't got a weird bitter aftertaste, and actually could pass once you stick it in a pint glass as a pint of lager. But I've noticed the strangest thing from both the staff, both from the customers. There is this real stigma, and it almost feels like I should be embarrassed about the fact that I'm not drinking alcohol. You know, the comments you get. So why are you doing that? What, you know, and from the people in the pub, the regular drinkers that I know, you get constant questioning. So why are you doing that? How long are you doing it for? When are you going to start drinking again? And not just that, but a complete lack of encouragement. Oh, you know, you're going to give up soon. You've done well. It's been 2 weeks so far. You know, you've done well. I'm sure you'll have a beer at some point. Total lack of support, lack of, you know, any kind of understanding as to why someone might want to do this to, you know, just help improve their health a little bit, or lose a bit of weight, or just to give your body a break from the alcohol. And it doesn't matter what you say, it doesn't matter what reasons you give, you'll still be met with more questions, with sort of almost like looks of disdain. I've actually noticed, and it might be because I'm not getting so involved in the conversations, because, you know, I've not had that frontal lobotomy that alcohol gives you. But I noticed that people have stopped talking to me as much. You know, I'm sitting in the same place, sitting with the same people, you know, surrounding myself in the same atmosphere. And people are talking to me less, they're actively talking to me less. And it's a very strange experience. And actually, before I go on to say that, the strange thing is I get it from the staff as well. Firstly, the look of shock, which I kind of understand. You know, I go in there and I religiously order my pints of Stella, and now I'm going in and asking for a bottle of Heineken Zero, or a pint of soda water with lime or whatever. But actually, one of the guys, God bless him, one of the young bar staff in the pub, when I ordered 2 bottles of Heineken Zero and a pint glass, so I could make myself effectively a pint. And he went from where he was serving me in the middle of the bar in full view of everyone, and he got these bottles and he put them right in the corner of the bar, hidden from everyone else in the pub, actually hiding these non-alcoholic beers, so I could pour them, you know, like some little dirty little drug deal in the corner, pour them into this pint glass. And, you so I could go out brashly brazen my manly pint of beer without anyone knowing that it was non-alcoholic. Now, by this stage, everyone knew I wasn't drinking anyway. I'd shown them the bottles. I told them to try it. Try this. It's actually all right. But yeah, it's so weird to have this stigma attached to not drinking. This embarrassment. You feel like you should be embarrassed. Like I say, giving me my non-alcoholic beers in the way that you'd be dealing heroin in the corner of a dodgy bar. Sliding into the corner of the bar so nobody could see. It's just crazy. And what this guy from the Stop Drinking Expert says is that it's such a paradox. It's such a contrast to any other addiction and any other drug. Obviously, I come from a background of a gambling addiction, and gambling is something you kind of almost make excuses for, isn't it? I'm just going to have a quick go. I'm just going to have a quick tenner and try my luck. I'm just going to put my change in for my beer. And you're constantly justifying your actions. You're justifying your addictions to those around you. And it's the same with virtually any other drug. Even smoking now. If you're popping outside for a cigarette, you apologise. Oh, I'm sorry, just popping out for a cigarette. I won't be long. Just popping out for a cigarette. I won't be a minute. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to pop outside. And certainly if you're doing anything harder, if you were coked up to your eyeballs, you'd make an excuse, wouldn't you? I've just been a stressful week. I've been smoking weed. Sorry, I've got to have a joint. It's been a really stressful week, and you're the one making the apology because you're the one that's indulging in this harmful activity. You're the one who's taking this addictive drug, and you're making excuses for yourself. Like I say, it's even the same with gambling. It's the same with anything. It even goes as far as to say it's the same with junk food. I ordered a Chinese. I couldn't be bothered to cook. Or the wife's been out all day. I couldn't be bothered to cook, so I've ordered a Chinese. You're constantly in life making excuses for things you do which are potentially bad for you. But alcohol is the one thing, and it's the only thing I've noticed in the last 2 weeks. It's the one highly addictive, highly harmful substance that it's socially unacceptable not to consume. And like I say, this isn't my opinion. This isn't my observation. It's an observation that I've learnt about online and has been totally backed up in the last couple of weeks by my going to the pub as I've normally done, albeit less frequently, and sitting with the same people, drinking with the same people, doing the same things, getting involved in the same inane conversations. But people look at you as if there's something wrong with you, And I've avoided making excuses. I could have said, oh yeah, I've got an operation coming up, which I actually have. I could have said I was on antibiotics. I could have said I could have pleaded religious reasons, which probably wouldn't have gone down well. But I could have given any number of reasons why I wasn't drinking. I was honest and said, look, I'm just having a bit of time off the booze. I need to feel a little bit better. I need to feel a bit healthier. And please don't think I'm being self-righteous. I'm really not. I'm already planning my next drink. I've got this operation on the 21st of this month, and providing I'm not on drugs that don't allow me to, I'm keeping the option open to go and have a couple of beers afterwards. I don't see myself quitting alcohol forever, so I'm not being high and mighty and saying I'm better than you. But I think this might be the concern. This might be concern about the regular drinkers, of which I was one for years. And this, like I say, this is the longest break I've had in years. But I think by quitting drinking, there's almost this theory that you're then judging other people for their actions, and I'm really not. I promise you that much. I'm really not, because, like I say, at heart and in my head, I'm still one of those regular drinkers. But I think people don't like to be sat drinking with a non-drinker because they feel that, well, if I do something silly, if I say something stupid because I'm a bit half cut, they'll be judging me, or they'll be holding me to a different standard, because they're not drinking. And that's not the case. But it's almost as if you require, that solidarity amongst drinkers, that affirmation that what you're doing is normal and reasonable, and that, poisoning yourself for a bit of a laugh, and because actually it can be quite fun, is the normal right thing to do, and stopping doing this is somehow wrong, and that you're now some virtuistic, moralistic dickhead who's there. Why are you here? Why are you here? It's not. You can't be for the football, or the atmosphere, or the fact you like talking to people. No, you must be here to come here and judge us because we're doing something wrong, and it's nothing like that. But it's very, very strange to see how doing something that is physically harmful, is addictive, it's expensive, is so, it's not just accepted, it's expected, and it's absolutely baffled me. But yeah, like I say, I'm not being virtuistic, I'm not being moralistic, I'm not judging people who are drinking, because I'm going to go back to it at some point, I'm sure I am. But for the time being, I'm not, and I'll keep you updated with how I'm getting on. If you like this video, drop a subscription on the channel. We're growing. I'm trying my best to get content out there, to get some videos out there for you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Really, really appreciate it. Helps me get some stuff off my chest too. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys. In a bit.